Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome everyone into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. See how much faster I can say that. Everyone, we want to be quick because we are, of course, doing CES 2022 coverage. And, hey, there's a lot to cover. And, of course, there's a lot of stuff for our guests to do as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Our guest today is Mr. Donnie Viajar. He is the product marketing manager for Kwikset. If you haven't heard about Kwikset, where have you been? You may know them better for, their wide range of locks and, door locks and things like that you may see at Home Depot, Lowe's, any other department store. But hey, this is CES. This is the epicenter of new technology, and they sure came to the table. So Donnie, welcome on to Computer America. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure, And glad that you could join us, and thank you for taking the time. I think a good, a good place to start would be an overview of course, Kwikset and, kind of why you're at CES. Because I think for a lot of people, the door lock, some people have really embraced smart locks and fingerprint readers and Bluetooth and things like that. But to a lot of other people, they're like, hey, the keys never failed me before. Why kind of go from there? So Kwikset and technology, how do the two marry?
So definitely what you see here, like we do offer our Wi-Fi enabled locks, smart locks, and Halo Touch is an example of that. That is with a fingerprint scanner that will allow you to lock and unlock your front door using your fingerprint. And so for security reasons, everything is kept, the fingerprint image is kept on the lock itself locally and not on the cloud. So that's something exciting about that. In addition to that, aside from the biometric, we also offer our Halo touchscreen, which is a touchscreen interface, still Wi-Fi enabled. And then we also have the keypad version that will allow you up to 250 user codes for both products to allow you to set up access for your guests or family members into your home. So that's the Wi-Fi enabled smart locks that Kwikset has to offer today. What makes it unique is that all these three locks can be managed using the Kwikset app, and we do have a planned updated version that's upcoming in the March timeframe that we'll be releasing. Updated UI to make it easier for logging in and back into the app. You can use your fingerprint or biometric, and also to make the interface a lot more consumer and user intuitive. It's more intuitive for the consumers. And in addition to that, you can scroll if you have a number of locks, it makes it easier to scroll through it. So that's a highlight for the Wi-Fi. Really, the big advantage of Wi-Fi that I wanted to point out is that unlike the previous offering of Bluetooth connected smart locks, you don't need a hub to connect directly to your Wi-Fi network at home when you're setting this up.
You don't need the hub, and of course, getting connectivity and hooking it into your network is one thing. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So in the past, right? So you need to be able to, for some functionality that you're looking for, like remote management of the lock. So you can set up a guest access. You don't have to be at the lock. You can be remote for that to be able going, hey, I have a guest I'm expecting late this afternoon. When I give him a time slot to be able to lock and unlock the front door, you can do that remotely using the Kwikset app and the Wi-Fi connectivity. That's the advantage that it offers for the consumer.
I see. And of course, there's a lot of other segments that if you go over to Kwikset.com, you can check it out. But I think what's becoming more and more popular is this idea of being, just kind of managing property. And I saw a number of ways that, of course, having more control over your own locks, but controlling the ability of letting people in and out, kind of not even having to physically be at the property to really let in, either renters, short-time renters, so on and so forth. Is this an area that Kwikset's really, trying to serve? Because it's getting really popular.
Yes, definitely, right? You can do that with the touchscreen and the keypad, up to 250 user codes that you can send a code either through text, email, and set them up. And you can also, once once you want to limit or remove the guest as a user for the lock, you can easily do that through the app. Definitely, that's something that we're focused on and trying to serve the consumer in their application and use case.
Perfect. Yeah, and of course that's going to be super helpful for, I think, anyone who hasn't really experienced it. And I actually changed out the locks in my house to smart locks a little while ago. A couple of years ago now. I wanted you to kind of just touch real quick on, it's always the biggest response whenever I tell people, you should do this, is they push back and say it's not secure. And when it comes to security, how does Kwikset kind of handle not just physical security, because, hey, a deadbolt is a deadbolt, but digital security, because that seems to put people, a little on edge.
Yeah, so definitely all the communication between the lock and the back-end server in the cloud, it's all encrypted to protect and there's no shared information anywhere. The information is localized either on the lock or on the cloud, and it's not being shared with anyone. So security, and we know that it's protected and not being shared.
Gotcha. Yeah, and of course that's very, very important, because you want to make sure that, hey, only the right people access it, but there's also a mix of giving access easily and making sure that it's not too easy for anyone to access it. So that fits perfectly. Because you're at CES, and I'm sure you're there in person, I'm sure it's a very high energy kind of event. I just want to kind of ask you, I think here we're looking, let's see, I was looking at the Home Connect 620. Is this what you're showing off at CES, or do you have any new products to kind of announce?
Yes, so this is what we're showing at CES, the Home Connect 620. So one thing I do want to mention for the Halo footprint before we move to the Home Connect 620.
Oh, sure.
Critical point to point out is that these are all Google Assistant and Alexa enabled. So you can enable the skills to lock and unlock any of the Halo products using Alexa or Google Assistant today.
That and that's definitely good. And actually, I wasn't even really even showing that. I was just kind of showing the banner. This is a different kind of lock now that I'm actually looking at it. And there's a keyhole for a traditional key, which is always great. But then there's simply no touchpad, just a biometric kind of fingerprint reader. I have to kind of ask you, and this is something that earlier iterations of really just kind of all touchpads, it didn't work really too well, like getting the perfect angle of the finger, and of course getting the right finger, but that kind of thing. Do you think that Kwikset has really kind of nailed the biometric reading to the point where it's not going to be frustrating or overly frustrating to use biometric and biometric only?
Yeah, I think we have nailed it with this version of it. The consumer response has been very positive in terms of how fast it interacts. Once your fingerprint is enrolled, there is a process that you need to do. You have to make sure that the finger is enrolled with the different, to cover your whole fingerprint. But once the enrollment is successful, the actual response, and I'm biased, I'm using this on my front door, but the response is very quick. There are some, instances, just like anywhere else, if your finger is wet, or the fingerprint is not clear, that's where you might experience some issues locking and unlocking. However, if it's enrolled, the response time and very quick and very reliable. Gotcha. And we continue to improve that, by the way.
Yeah, and of course that's something that you can definitely work on, kind of after the fact through software updates over the air. And I also have to, kind of mention this for anyone out there just listening and not watching the video. In terms of adding this to existing homes, I think that's a big part because, no one wants to have to throw out their entire door because it's not compatible with, kind of new technology. I'm sure that you made a lot of efforts to make sure this just kind of works, right? Like there's no special door you need. There's no throwing out of the whole thing just because you want to add in, the Halo system, right?
That's correct. It fits on all the standard doors, uses all the standard latch that we include in other products as well.
Perfect. That's just what we want to hear. So, it has two kind of contemporary traditional fixes, that satin nickel, all that kind of thing. Really, what you expect from Kwikset, which is, hey, you'll find something that matches your decor either way. So, all that being said, and then of course you mentioned the app itself is fairly intuitive to use. Did you say that an update was about to be rolled out or has been rolled out?
Correct. An update we're planning to roll out, which we're calling a Kwikset App 2.0 in the March timeframe.
Gotcha. No, it's very good to kind of notice. I'm sure that anyone who has Kwikset will also notice that as well. This is actually very, very, very cool. And of course, there's Halo as well with the touchscreen. So it's not just the fingerprint reader, but I think this is what people would be more traditionally used to. And then you have more traditional, like we were saying, with the Home Connect 620. So talk about Z-Wave technology. Why was it important to integrate Z-Wave into locks?
So a lot of our current existing builder partners have Z-Wave, right? And there's a large installed base of Z-Wave consumers out there. So what we've done with this product, or what Kwikset has done here, has implemented from Z-Wave 500 to Z-Wave 700. And I'll cover like the benefits of having Z-Wave 700. Sure. Number one, the distance range is doubled what it is with Z-Wave 500. In addition, battery life went from 12 months to 18 months. The better security that's been implemented with Z-Wave 700. Kwikset also has implemented a QR code to make it easier for consumers to make it work with what existing panels out there and panels that, and this product has gone through the certification process with the vendors out there on the Z-Wave partners that we have today, such as ADT, Rentley, Vivint, obviously is there. So we have key partners that we've gone through the certification process to make sure that this lock is compatible with existing hub and panels out there in the market today.
Perfect. And you really seem to have fixed a couple of the pain points that I've had with existing locks, which battery life, it looks like you've increased the battery life quite a bit. And then, of course, range, which you already mentioned, and being able to, put it on even those external doors and, a garage, shed, things like that. So it seems like you've really been working on the pain points and working with home builders as well as, different individuals. If you wanted to kind of touch on real quick, and again, we're going to keep this interview rather short, but if you want to talk about some of the key areas that you are looking to kind of position your products, because we see here things like aging in place, of course, renters and things like that. Where is Kwikset kind of keeping a focus on when it comes to future development of their products?
So Kwikset needs to be part of the overall smart connected environment or ecosystem, right? So we do have products like the Home Connect 620, and I forgot to mention that it went up to 250 user codes that it can support. That's nice. Feedback from our builder partners. So it's important that we continue to work with our partners both on the retail shelf as well as on the builder side to make sure that we're meeting what the consumer needs, not only today but moving forward. And with that said, we are actively engaged in the Matter and the Thread and the Connected Home the Connected Standard Alliance initiative, to make sure that our future products and any future products that's released by Kwikset will have support behind it, and will work with whatever ecosystem that's available today.
Perfect. No, you answered that perfectly. I think that one of the Achilles heels of technology in general when it came to the smart home is that everyone wanted to build out their own ecosystem, and it doesn't really play well with others. I think Z-Wave is a great standard to kind of latch onto, and it sounds like between the pros and the personal use, Kwikset is definitely right there trying to help as many people as they can. I'll go ahead and Donnie, kind of let you have the last word. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you'd like to mention, or do you think we covered CES pretty well?
Yeah, I just want to summarize it that, hey, with CES today, with the Home Connect 620, we see real value with it for our consumers and our partners. And as we move forward, we are actively engaged in new future standards that's upcoming, and that will make sure that Kwikset is part of the ecosystem, whatever it might be, moving forward.
Just what you want to hear. So everyone, if you want to find out more, kwikset.com, KWIKSET.com. We'll have a link over at Computer America with the show notes. And when this podcast goes out, we'll be sure to include all the links in the information below. So Donnie, I want to thank you so much for stepping in last minute. I know that this has probably been a very hectic CES for you, but hey, I hope that you're having fun out there, and it's a great show for you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure. So everyone, we're going to end it right there. Thank you for tuning in. And hey, more CES coverage coming up.